Hi there, welcome to the Noah Presgrove case. Today we continue on with the mystery of a supposed white vehicle at the scene of the highway where Noah's body was found at an unknown time. But in regards to Jack Newton, a reference was made that a white vehicle was leaving at the time of when Jack arrived. I believe so, but the likes of Tyler Hardy, one of the truck drivers, one of the official callers to police about Noah's body, because being a witness to finding Noah's body, didn't recall anything about another white vehicle being present. Whilst the gears may grind and there is conflict between those individuals, no timing was ever given, so it highlights the possibilities that it could have happened. And it's true what Tyler Hardy says, but is it true what Jack Newton says? Because if it is, it would have to be earlier on. But if Jack is also saying that everything happened onwards, around 6 onwards, when he finally arrived for the very first time, if you base off his sleep story, it just doesn't quite add up. So that's quite a mouthful to put out there immediately, but I just wanted that flow. I wanted to catch up to speed real quick so you're aware yourself. But if you are interested in previous videos of mine and you want to catch up, top right corner of the screen, there will be an I symbol. Be sure to check it. You'll find the full playlist there. Be sure to drop a comment down below under this video to let me know your thoughts, opinions, and questions, and I can respond back at a later point. You'll find a pinned message as well with additional links if you want to support this channel. Big shout out, whether they see it or not, big shout out to a person called Horizon, very good of them in recent time. And shout out to Popski for last night for their super chat and supporting the channel. Very good to see. Also, primarily, I am making this particular video. I was supposed to be having a rest, but because of the positive comments recently and the feedback from others in regards to the coverage on the case, I thought I might as well do it, keep on top of things, and see if we can look at it from any alternative perspectives. And if it isn't clear enough already, whilst yes, we're continuing on with the white vehicle mystery at the highway, we're applying it to another individual who it could be behind the wheel. Is it like with 100% confidence or certainty? No, but I still want to bring it up for potential discussion. Welcome to anyone that is currently here watching this live premiere as we do go along. Feel free to use the live chat on the right to let me know your thoughts and whatnot if you want to talk about things and any live questions. The order of how we'll do things today, I'm just going to give like a brief introduction or try and work out the potential person behind the vehicle and the name. Try and get up maybe a photo on screen as well, just so you can see it for yourself from what someone else had said. Just take that into perspective, and then maybe we apply it to the maps and try and figure out why a person like that would even be present and how relevant are they to the party anyway. And Noah Presgrove, there are links to be made, but I think one important thing to highlight is if the area is somewhat popular or known for a variety of people, party goers, family, friends of friends, and complete strangers, local or not, passing on through, that may own a white car or vehicle, anyone could be a potential person of interest, right? It does make it a lot harder. It's like, where's Wally? You got to find it amongst everything else. If there's a way to break it down as for certain factors, is it just a car? Is it a 4-door, 5-door? Is it an SUV? If you could determine that to an extent, you could cut it down massively. If you knew the brand of the vehicle, you could cut it down. It's about filtering through it all, and maybe that can be done with time. And whilst there may not be any cameras at the scene or nearby, are there any cameras further on, whether it be the mini mart back that way or more north going towards Ryan? Any cameras at a specific time which would have shown a particular white vehicle passing on by, that could be added in. Maybe apply it to the maps as well. But you get the idea of the extent and the complexity of it, trying to work out who is who or who it could be. But the particular person that it could apply to, not that it does, but just as a question, a theory-based video, maybe it could trigger a reaction, as in answers and more, hence why I'm making it. What are the possibilities that it could be Gage Jessen? Who is Gage Jessen? Well, I'll get to that in just a second. What I do want to highlight as well, if there is time today, hopefully, I'll either look at the YouTube comment section of a previous video that I did and answer, or we'll go to Facebook and look at the theme of Hearsay. What is Hearsay? Well, I don't know the official definition, but isn't it along the lines of you can do a lot of this, but if you haven't got solid, hard evidence, it means nothing at this moment in time. Is that the basic definition? How does it come across from like a witness report, someone that was there physically in the moment to see something going on? They relayed it online or relayed it onto someone, and then that someone spoke public online and re-quoted what was said by the witness. Is that considered hearsay? Is it good enough or not? Well, I think that's one of the discussions on Facebook, and we'll read it. We'll look at the comments and reactions if there is time. But right now, let's just focus in on Gage Jessen, and we probably should apply it to the maps. Here we are, keeping it clean without any markers because we're familiar with the area by now. So in terms of Gage Jessen, relevancy to the party, not full on, but relevancy to the area and Noah Presgrove, more linkable based off what supposedly did happen. If we take it back to Sunday afternoon, when Noah Presgrove was back at his place of living all the way down here, which I think is Duncan or Comanche, it might be Duncan, roughly in this area. Now, I did know the location of where Noah was living, but I don't want to reveal it on here because it's not 100% relevant to the death situation, and we don't want any unnecessary, I don't know, we could call it legal stuff or just petty behaviour and drama. But you get the idea where Noah is from, the distance in general, 42 miles plus there, and then 42 miles back. Very demanding. I've just noticed there's a place here called Fuqua Park. What an interesting name. Let's go to Fuqua. And I'm sure Americans will say, Andrew, Wygraph, you got that wrong. Don't worry, we'll recorrect it some other day. But right now, you look back to Sunday, which would have been, I believe, the 3rd September 2023 at around 5 p.m. And I'm just quoting what Dusty Butler had said in the past. Now, Dusty Butler, I think, has been quiet on Facebook ever since. That could be for numerous reasons. It's just a familiar name, someone who was like an admin or a moderator, at least, on one of the pages, but I don't know what's happened since, because there'll be a wave of people that have either gone quiet or slowed down a little bit, and maybe others that have moved on to other cases. Who knows, that could be still watching in the background. Credit to them if they are. I just remember Dusty Butler supposedly saying that it was around 5 p.m. onwards when Jack Newton, who was present at the party, contacted Noah Presgrove, who was at his place of living, and the best friend Jack wanted Noah back at the party. And you would be familiar with that by now. The actual call conversation would be very interesting to listen to, wouldn't it? But I don't know if we'll ever get that. But nevertheless, Noah Presgrove convinced or persuaded enough to come on down. But the supposed story is, from what's been said online, and I think maybe the odd reference by Justin Roy, is Gage Jessen, a male, age unknown, where they live unknown, passing by the area possibly. But how did Gage Jessen know when or how to pick up Noah? Because supposedly it was Jack Newton who decided to reach out to Gage, so they must have contacts, friendships in some way, and felt, well, Gage is closer by to Noah rather than Jack is to Noah, so we'll do it that way around for efficiency. Noah originally not wanting to come on down via his own vehicle because of a leak, oil leak or so, and it's not cost efficient, I believe, so that's one of the main reasons for Noah getting picked up, such as by Gage Jessen, who supposedly drives a white vehicle. I don't know if it's shown up on screen right now. Maybe what I will do is I'll just drop like a marker down, or we'll go to Street View just as like a prompt so I can throw it up on screen so I don't forget, when it comes to the editing part. So this isn't directly significant here, but what's on screen as an overlay is more important. Supposedly that's what Gage Jessen drives or drove at the time, as for a white, I think, SUV type vehicle. Now, anyone could be a culprit, a person of interest who drives a white vehicle who just happens to pass by the area relevant to the day of Noah's death at a certain time. So it doesn't make it that easy to, pinpoint who is who exactly, but you just take it into mind as a possibility, and that's all. Just like how people said, well, that white vehicle SUV type thing, as seen on satellite imagery of 2022 onwards and 2024, that could well be the one that was at the scene of the highway. Then you got Brooke Bounds-Carter saying, well, one of those vehicles looks like the type of vehicle one of the parents would drive. So who could that be then? Is there a link? Or is it just unfortunate place and timing? and then it being applied to the case itself. Well, there seems to be more linkage possibly with Gage Jessen, if it's truly true that that's the type of vehicle he drove at the time, and furthermore, being in the area, at least on the Sunday being present. As for Monday, that is unknown of. What we've got to highlight is, with Noah Presgrove, whilst he may have been able to make it down successfully back to the party house, and I probably got lost at the moment, but we'll get back there. There we go, just speed on down. Got to get back. Hey! You know what? I don't even know where I'm going, but I'm actually going in the right direction, said by Warlight Ref, the expert navigator. But here we are, back again. Going all the way back down to here, the party house. Although successful, supposedly, based off that story, and along the way, Mikey Lair being picked up by Gage Jessen and being in the vehicle with Noah Presgrove and some others, names unknown, makes you think from Mikey Lair's perspective, who contacted Mikey Lair? Who thought, right, we'll pick him up as well? Or how did Mikey get in contact with Gage Jessen or anyone else in between? Was it Jack Newton that was like, oh, Mikey, you want to come on down as well? Well, Gage is on the way. Noah's already inside, so you can join him too. What's this, like bloody taxi service? Who knows? But able to make it down, Noah returning back, Mikey arriving for the first time on a Sunday onwards, even though Caden Pressey's private timeline, I believe it was the private one, said Mikey was there on a Saturday. Doesn't make any sense. Maybe it was a mistake at the time. Who knows? Just wanted to acknowledge it. Once Noah Presgrove's present here and Mikey and anyone else, I guess Gage Jessen drove off. But where to? Back to his place of living? Depends where he lives. If we knew where he lived, but at the same time I could understand it being sensitive information, you could compare and contrast the distance from where he lives to where he picked up Noah and the probability of going back in that direction if Noah wanted a lift back home and Gage Jessen was willing to do so. Got to take in mind and remember that when it comes to the party house and Noah Presgrove wanting to be picked up or dropped back home, all the partygoers said no, 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 no. For numerous reasons, not too sure. For Caden Pressey's point of view, because of drinking, not wanting to get in trouble with the police again. As for in the past, at the age of 18, Caden Pressey had been drinking, was parked up in his vehicle in a car park. So he wasn't driving about drunk, but he was drunk in a vehicle. So I don't know at what point was he or when he was drink driving, if ever, unless he drove somewhere, parked up, then went to get alcohol, got drunk, and then stayed in his vehicle and slept, which is still a responsible thing to do, but it depends how you interpret it. Still get in trouble with police, going to jail temporarily or so. Learning one's lesson, and then you can understand from Caden Pressey's point of view, at his party, even if Noah wanted to go back home, Caden just couldn't. And from what Caden had said in the background, Noah Presgrove was perfectly okay and understanding of that. But then as soon as he went on to everyone else, one by one, he was rejected. A feeling of hopelessness. Where do you go next? What do you do? Was it then or earlier when reaching out to his father, Victor, who couldn't or didn't want to give Noah a lift back home because busy with Caleb Newton drinking elsewhere, hanging out? I don't know how true that is. I don't know how deep we need to look at that as a separate part within the case, if you want or not, if there's material screenshots or even a rough location of the bar itself to measure the distance from that possible bar or hangout spot to the party house in the distance. But, you know, if you're drinking, you're drunk, you're going to be compromised as to what you can and can't do. And if that's the case with Victor, you also got to work out and wonder, it all comes down to where someone is. You can go out, hang out with people, meet up, or maybe solo, depending, but how far are you away and what type of transport do you take to get to a place, point A to point B? Because you're going to get drunk and all that, how are you going to get back? There's a level of responsibility there. As with the partygoers, a handful of them, I guess, intending on staying for overnight. You know, if you apply that to Friday, yeah, Saturday, yeah, Sunday, yeah, and then Monday, wearing off from there. Some people in between coming and going and leaving. As you, if there was a camera to work out who comes, who goes, who leaves, who enters at what time throughout the days, that would be very helpful. As for Gage Jessen, it makes you think, and it might sound a bit silly, but I'm guessing if it's true, Gage Jessen dropping Noah and Mikey and anyone else off Sunday afternoon onwards, I guess driving down there to be dropped off and then Gage leaving. Did he go south, Did he go north? I wonder. But after that, Monday early morning, Noah rejected left, right and centre. Father rejects Noah too. Can't get a lift home. Supposedly Noah just, admits, oh well, here's where it is, got to put up with it and I'll just stay here. And maybe Kate and Pressy reinforced that too at some point. But was there anybody else? If you got Gage Jessen, who could be available, no guarantee. Did Jack Newton try reaching out to Gage or any other contacts in between? You got to understand that it's early hours of Monday morning. Not everyone will be up, awake and partying. Some people may be going to sleep, still asleep elsewhere. Depends what roles, responsibilities that they have. So what the possibility is, what people are suggesting or linking, not directly me, but from what other people have said, is based off the vehicle that Gage drives, and with it being a white vehicle, could that be the one that was at the highway itself, in which, suppose that maybe Jack Newton saw the vehicle just leaving, but no identification of who it was behind the wheel. But if that's really the case, that you've got a white vehicle parking up at the highway and then speeding off shortly afterwards, what was done in between and why did the person park up if it had been Gage Jessen? Gage checking in on Noah and wondering what's going on. Well, if that was really the case and it was earlier on, shouldn't he have called the police? Especially if he's not relevant to Noah's death. If you just see someone and you think, oh shit, better act on it. And if you kind of know Noah to an extent, especially we've given him a lift to the party house, and somehow you came across him on a Monday along the highway, and you park up checking what's going on, maybe a bit more action is taken. So you could say, well, that's what Gage would normally do. And in this case, Gage would have, but he didn't because he wasn't actually there. It was somebody else. Or the whole story of a white vehicle is a load of bollocks. So I'm trying to put it all into perspective, but I'm basing it off the theory, and I'll try and mention that somewhere in this video so people understand. There appears to be some toilet paper on the side, and surprisingly, it's rather clean. Impressive. But if we move on, and I'm just moving about, we're not really specific as for location, but it's coming to the area of where Noah was found at least. If it was Gage Jessen, and I know people say it wasn't, it may not, well, if it triggers evidence or proof to say he's innocent, and when I say innocent, I mean as in the mystery of who may have been present at the scene at least, a person of interest, well then that's good, it can clear things up and give updates. This video isn't to negatively harm Gage in that sense, if you understand where I'm coming from there. Little white marks there, chalk marks. And then, of course, you got that red one, but to be honest, is this supposedly the mark which the police circled as a blood patch? And then further down that way, that's where Noah's body was found at. It's because I know someone was saying satellite imagery shows a red dot, but then again, there are other red dots further down the road, way back that way near to the party house, and other colours as well. To be honest, whilst I received the flack for this about supposed blood splatter mark on the ground, turned out it wasn't because it was there beforehand or so, and blah, 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 blah. At the end of the day, it was the police, the official authorities, the people you're supposed to trust and believe in were the ones that decided to bloody mark this spot and label it as blood. So they're a bit incompetent, are they not? And how it was reported on afterwards through the news articles, official media, professional outlets marking it too. Incompetent? Somewhat, maybe. I thought I'd just throw that in as a possibility. But, when I looked at satellite imagery, I could not see that mark, but I can on Street View. So I don't know why people make a big deal about, we need to go in satellite imagery, man. We're going to go back in time. We're going to really analyse the small print and all everything. Oh, yeah, man. We can see it close rain. But what do we have here? Nothing that significant. I don't even know what that is. It's something like burnt, broken, weird. Just random bits and bobs along the highway. Not that it's too relevant to the case of Noah Presgrove. But honestly, if a white vehicle was the one to be seen at the highway, and if somehow it links onto other stories by other people that it was a passenger that got out, a kid quoted, ended up taking shorts away, replacing them with alternative ones, how would that tie in with the timing of Kate and Pressy's timeline? Would it or would it not? It makes it very messy and hard to believe that it would happen. And as for the timeline, or at least the timing of Tyler Hardy, it wouldn't quite link up well. likely, probably, if it ever did happen, this white vehicle situation would have had to have happened after Caden Pressey and the guys left, whilst Jack Newton and whoever else truckers were present, or they left. Then comes the other wave to do with the highway footage, you know, the supposed tampering with evidence, removal of shorts. And in terms of that video footage, if it does exist, don't you remember it? They said the shorts were removed, not taken away exactly, but just removed off Noah's body. No mention of white shorts being replaced onto Noah's body. So you could think a certain clip of that where it shows it happening, a process, a part of it, then the video stops, then does the white car come on down, a person gets out with the backup shorts and says, hey, police guy, volunteer firefighter, I've got the extra shorts, here you go. Can I have the black ones? Takes them, speeds off. Who would that be then? Who would be the driver? Who would be willing to do that and partake in a supposed event like that where it can incriminate themselves when they may have nothing to do with it? So if it was Gage Jessen, would Gage Jessen be stupid enough to drive on down with a passenger who knows what's what? Or would Gage be completely in the dark about it? Passenger convinced him, come on down, it'll be okay, I just got to do something, I left something behind at the highway, parks up, close by to the body. Well, if it was near or close by to the body, you'd think Gage Jessen would probably protest and say, hey, you didn't tell me this was part of it, I'm calling the police. That maybe. Unless parts further back, out of sight, and then the passenger got out, moved on down, and then placed the shorts, then got back into the vehicle and the white car drove off, and then somehow Jack Newton arrived, like Superman, but not quite in time. Super Jack, maybe not quite. It seems a bit of a far-fetched story that, but I'm just trying to make sense of the timing, trying to fit it into some timeline at least. Would that be based off Caden Pressey's? If it was based off Jack Newton's timeline, as in first time Jack gets to the highway, what he said, around 6 a.m. onwards, when Tyler Hardy are present, and that Jack Newton is saying a white vehicle possibly was nearby, and then was leaving when Jack got there, or just about, and Tyler Hardy says, nope, there was nothing like that present, then someone's clearly lying or got it wrong, and it would point more so towards Jack based off that time at 6 onwards, because you could say, well, Tyler Hardy, he could be the one lying about not seeing a white vehicle, because there might have been, but who would you believe? More so Tyler Hardy or Jack Newton at 6 in the morning onwards with a white vehicle present and possibly shorts being removed or taken away and added, etc. Makes you think. And as well, you'd probably believe Tyler Hardy a little bit more than Jack Newton, because at the end of the day, a complete stranger was willing to call the police compared to Noah's best friend, at least from how we've seen it. Now, I could be considered as being a bit too critical towards Jack Newton, because am I somewhat indirectly influenced by Caden Pressey's timeline? You could apply that as an argument against myself. Now, technically, I should not be having an argument with myself, but that's what happens at times, okay? So if I'm influenced by Caden Pressey's timeline, that could be considered an unfortunate thing if it doesn't hold enough weight or value. But what I'm getting at is Caden Pressey's timeline is much earlier on by what, an hour and 15 minutes or so. So if Jack was there earlier but no call was made from Jack, then it makes him not look as caring or concerned. But a stranger like Tyler Hardy that arrives for the very first time around 5:53 that decides to make a call to police makes Tyler look more innocent and less likely to lie about a white vehicle being present at the highway at the time of 6 in the morning onwards or so, roughly speaking. Because why would you lie? Why would you mess that up if you're willing to call the police in the first place, whether you're linked or not to the case, right? You've got to take that into mind. But someone like Jack Newton, or someone that is just a bit quieter or reserved, doesn't take as much action, isn't as proactive at times, and may change things along the way. That might be to suit themselves and defend themselves. But furthermore, to mention about a white vehicle, is that done as a form of deflection? Or is it like an indirect slip of the tongue that it actually did happen, but the actual time when it was given was incorrect? As I said, we don't know the true time of this supposed white vehicle story. It was never really given, at least to my knowledge, but if you used to try and work it out, it would have to happen at a certain time for at least one side of the story or timeline to be correct. Now, apologies if I'm talking a bit too fast, but for once in my life, I've got a better flow this time round, and I wasn't even prepared to do a video today, so maybe that's what I need to try and do more often. Act completely clueless as to what I'm doing, but it seems to be more under control. But in all seriousness, does anyone think that someone like Gage Jessen could be somewhat linkable to this event? Me personally, I just don't think so, based off his mindset. But then again, if you wanted to argue and say, well, we don't know enough about Gage Jessen, could be capable of anything, not saying that he is, but, you know, other people could be a bit sceptical and concerned. If it was true that Jack Newton contacted Gage Jessen because Jack really wanted Noah to come on down, could it have been the conversation along the way, such as Noah said to Jack, no, I can't come on down because of the oil leak. So then Jack had to further persuade Noah and say, okay, well, how about you get driven down? I actually know someone that can get you down here, Gage Jessen. But did Noah Presgrove know Gage Jessen as a friend online in real life, or was it a stranger? That's if you've got any answers to this question, you can leave it down below in the comment section. That'd be appreciated. But if any of that did happen and Jack's got his contacts, he's not willing to go out of his way to get Noah because it's too long and it'll take too much time. But if there's someone else at hand, disposable, to do the dirty work, as in an alternative theory, and that is all, where people are saying that maybe Jack wanted Noah back, Jack want Noah back. I don't know what I'm trying to do there. I was trying to think of a rhyme, but that's stupid. Jack wanted Noah to come on down, so then things could happen to Noah. And with Noah being vulnerable, reliant, dependable on someone else to give him a lift back home, Jack knew he had him where he wanted. That's just a theory. And Jack, passionate or wanted Noah to be there, to go to any length, such as reach out to another contact, Gage, but then would Gage be in on it? Or would Gage be completely oblivious? Well, for Gage to link to the highway scene, if that's true, based off Jack Newton's story, you could say Gage would have to be in line or in the know to an extent with Jack Newton in the first place for the other to link to the first. That's what I would say. And yeah, that's like my thoughts at this moment in time. Do we have any hard evidence, though, of a white vehicle at the highway or the scene? No. But was it mentioned by Jack Newton to an extent, a supposed reference, supposedly? Is that good enough? No. Are there any cameras nearby? Well, Minimart. I can't see the cameras myself, but they're supposedly present. So if I drop down the marker here, some cameras there. Would any of the cameras at the Minimart have picked up a white vehicle driving on by, passing on through at a suitable time, as in when at the highway and Noah's death onwards? That's the first question. Next question would be, are there any houses nearby that have cameras? I don't know if Brooke Bounds-Carter made an indirect reference talking about cameras nearby that may pick up other things. Like this building here. Does this building have any cameras? Yes or no? I have checked previously in the past, but I just couldn't see any personally. But if there were, would they be pointing towards the highway? The closer the cameras or the property is to the party house, the better. And it also comes down to, I guess, the way Gage Jessen or someone else could have been driving, the direction. I mean, you think a person that may have attended the party or came on down to the party, like a taxi service or so, could be more likely as well to be present at the highway at the scene if there is a linkable story, true story there, compared to a complete stranger who had no reason to be at the spot of the highway. Now, there was a rough mention in the past to Carter Combs and a white vehicle. That was a bit of talk, rumours. There was another time, talk, gossip or rumours, where, a white vehicle did park up nearby two other trucks, whether Tyler and Tyler Hardy were there or not at that time, and then that white vehicle ended up driving off, but more so it was probably just a stranger wondering what's going on or rubbernecking and then realising, right, we've got to leave now. There's so many different ways to interpret it, and I'm just trying to use my memory as for the loose discussions what I've seen online, and it's not good enough, I know, but it's only limited what we've got. There's not many houses further up. You got that one there, but that's further away from the highway, so the cameras probably wouldn't be that good. And beyond, you'd be going to Ryan there. Gage Jessen, for example, in his vehicle, would have had to have drove through Ryan when taking Noah down to the party house. So in this area, there'll definitely probably be cameras somewhere. Maybe at this gas station, Sticks Superstore. Oh my God. Right on the money. Wait, what does that say? Dirt work or dirty work? Oh my God, is that my phone number being publicised there? Excuse me, I do my dirty work privately. No, that's completely out of context. That is not my phone number. Do not try calling it because you probably end up contacting some complete stranger. Oh God. We've got Conoco, whatever that is, brand related. Yeah. But the likely cameras present, like the mini mart. So you could use this place, even though it's so far away from the scene and the party house, for Noah Presgrove to pass on down here at some point, right? So, Saturday, of course. And then even Sunday morning when people are passing on through to go to Warwick, you would see the vehicles, but would the camera footage still exist till this day? Or overwritten? Probably overwritten, which is unfortunate. Bakers, clothing, florist, gifts. Wow, multifunctional. Summit Bank. Oh, we need to go to the bank? I don't know. Now, what I would do at a moment like this, I would go to look at one of the stores or buildings to look for cameras and then look at inside. But I don't know if people would think that's appropriate at a time like this, I'd try and do it indirectly to break through the darkness, but maybe we won't have enough time. Family Night, American Legion, whatever that is. But no, I'm looking at the area briefly just so you get an idea of what it looks like. Health Mart, Ryan Drug. It'd be funny if Girl Ryan, a viewer on the channel, was watching right now. Girl Ryan, we're at Ryan. People's Bank. Goes like cowboy type, some of the buildings, or Western. Someone in jail there. Oh, jail. He's been a naughty boy. Opera House. Bloody hell. I'm not an expert with the area, if you were wondering. And what does that say? Bloody hell, those walls need redecorating. My God. Peeling off. Looks like it says Google on it. Probably doesn't. Sausage. The fuck? Did that say sausage, or am I getting confused again? Sausage for sale. Who wants to buy a sausage? How big is it? We don't know. Are we going to be misled? Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of which, is there any food places nearby? Because indirectly, I actually do need to do something briefly. If it'll allow me. Food. Ryan. Yeah, so I just wanted to refer back to a certain place. Recent times, some viewers on one of my last live streams was talking about oysters and bull testicles or something with piercings. I don't even know, man. Hope it doesn't go through a metal detector or some kind of airport scanner, because it'll be ring-a-ding-ding until the cows come home. And there's no cows anymore, just bulls. We're going to go to Circle D. Or maybe not, I don't know. This is... Okay, we're not going to be here for that long because there's only 2 photos. What's the breakfast? Breakfast, burrito, omelets. Yeah, pretty disappointing that. Food reviews are out of the window. Ain't going to be doing this. It looks reasonable. At least it's not been spat out. And the last one, the Merc. No, any photos? 1 of 20. Great. Let's take a look. Okay. I just want to say very, very quickly, anyone watching right now, this is just something separate. It's just lighthearted, just to break through the darkness. And then once I've got through this, then I'll focus back in with the Facebook stuff, so don't be rolling your eyes like a possessed demonic spirit, okay? It's all under control. Just like that guy in the corner. Now, I can't zoom on in because of typical Google Earth being dodgy, but there's a big cowboy back there, broke back horse, riding it to the all day. Wow, really good, really good. Can I still do a horse sound? I don't know, let me try. Come on, boy. And jackets as well, hats. I'm a little bit rusty with this because I've not done it for a long time. Load up. Oh, yeah. Some bullhorns back there. Oh, no. The bullhorns are showing. Very pointy tips they are. How do you think that bullhead feels knowing the bells have been taken away? Isn't that right, Laura Dutton? Have you been taking away those bells? You were serving them up inside of a food place or so? Or was it Rebecca Gagliari with a broomstick on the side brushing away any dust from the balls because they've been gathering a lot of cobwebs since time because nobody will even buy them? People are more likely to buy a pair of bloody jeans compared to those oyster shells and clams along the way. I don't know why. Oh, my goodness. Of course, we've got the this stuff. Great high-end quality, man. Really high-end quality. Stitchwork, patchwork, amazing. Oh, no. Why are we obsessed about broomsticks? Is this fucking witch hour? Is a secret little coven going to come along? They're cackling along the way in the darkness, like how people say about there's dark groups within the Noah Presgrove community where they've got little broomsticks and little kitty cats that come out of nowhere, popping out the holes. Little pussycat, fix your cat flap right now, man. It was all about measuring these jeans so to fit right on up. I didn't know you could stack shit that high. Why you got a pair of brown bloody jeans? What the hell? Some weird objects with little dents in. Great. Forklift truck. Great. No one operating it. Really great health and safety, man. Perfect. You're going to plow on in. Knock all the feet over. Got some diamond. What's that? Maintenance for cats. There we go. There you go, Melanie. Yeah? Melanie Fagan, are you there, Melanie? We got some kitty cat food. I don't know about the catnip. That's probably been stolen already. What type of cat is it? Is it ginger cats or any cat in general? Or is it like a wild cat? I don't know. Yeah, diamond, hard bones, man. Pup Peroni. Oh boy, play on words there. Oh yeah, get the dogs out. Yeah, who's going to let the dogs out? I don't know. They're already roaming about. I can actually do a dog right now. Give me my food right now. Or stick a size 12 in your ass, man. Just like JJ Bump Ass. Can't even walk properly anymore when you got a red wing shoe. Just like a red flag. And to be honest, that shoe, it's brown already, but it would be anywhere if it's shoved somewhere where it shouldn't be. Boots. Yeah, we got dry goods. Why do we want dry goods when it should be wet? It's better wet than dry. Twisted X. Oh, yeah. Some kind of heavy metal band coming on in with cowboy boots. Great. They play so loud, and we'll get the bleach on as well. WD-40. Gotta oil things up if it gets a little bit stiff out there. I don't know. Ointment. Corona. Crikey. Fucking mate. I don't know, shall I? Is it right now? Well, I don't care. It was chill. But we got some great stuff right now. Where's Skippy at? What's the other individual? Sort of fucking individual. What is it? Christmas on the trail? Hey, there we go. So it's relevant at least to what we're looking at today to an extent because it's around Christmas time. We've got some mannequin heads there if you want to mess with them. There's some little hairstyle tips. And we've got a fucking Wrangler. Right on, mate. And the cactus in the background. What a prick you are. And even Dickies. Oh, yeah, Dickies. Now, with that all out the way, we probably should be able to focus back in once again. But I'm sorry I got distracted by food and stuff like that. But blame the people in the live chat that made some odd references to some delicacies or whatever you call them. What we need to focus back in on now is it more so hearsay when it comes to the situation with the vehicle or not? And maybe we can roughly link that on with that Facebook discussion. Let's head on over to that Facebook page right now and see what they've said. Here we are. So this is actually on the case discussion group. And shout out to Diane Hop. No, it's not Diane Hop. Oops. Actually, where is my bloody video gone? Hold on a second. Let's just adjust it to the newest post. Yeah. Credit to Sherry Wright for sharing this video of mine, just to spread awareness. That's good to see. Mystery Man, first to find body of Noah Presgrove. If you are interested in this, if you've not seen it before, be sure to check my channel out. It was a few days ago that I made it. Very interesting thumbnail. And it's just another unique individual experience, just like the white car scenario, kind of on the sideline that gets swept under the rug or simply forgotten about because of other important matters. So it just needs a bit of awareness every now and then. And we've got Toy Jones here that says, is it hearsay if you state what an eyewitness says publicly? So we'll look at most relevant for now, at least, because I'm conscious of time. But Jodie Barth, a supposed expert somewhere, Jodie was the one to be interviewed on Partners in True Crime, if I'm correct in saying. Jodie, I believe, spoke previously about blood loss and the reasoning behind it and possibly being absorbed in the body or so. But what does she say here? Unless you saw it or heard it firsthand, it's hearsay if you repeat it no matter who tells you. What an eyewitness saw, heard is considered direct evidence in court and they can be cross-examined in court about it. If they tell someone else and that person repeats it, that is considered hearsay, even if it's from an eyewitness. So passing it on, considered hearsay. Generally, if you cannot be cross-examined in court on the veracity of the information, you can only say that it came from someone else's statement as considered hearsay. So you're just really being a messenger. So when you're a messenger, it's not always good enough. But maybe sometimes the direct person can't speak themselves or doesn't have the strength to do so. So they want someone else to do it. But I don't know, maybe there's some exceptions along the way. Was there anything else that could be possible? Would it be hearsay if a actual witness that recorded or took a photo of something which is incriminating of another person or an event, passed on that evidence and material onto some random stranger from, let's say, Nigeria, and then that Nigerian person decided to hand it over to police? Would that be considered hearsay? Would there be any confusion? Would it Would it not matter at all? Does anyone know? And let's just see some of the responses. Say, Laura, yes, I figured as much. And this goes for what partygoers share with supporters when they replay relate to the people on different groups. So basically, if Jack Newton was stating the truth, but it was passed on to Brooke, or it was passed on to Stevie or Sarah Long, and then those lot decided to talk about it on behalf of Jack, that would be considered hearsay then. All is, in fact, just hearsay with the exception of what Jack Newton and Caden Pressey has. But if Jack Newton or Caden Pressey states things as witnesses, but passes it on to somebody else, and that somebody else talks about it, is that considered hearsay? Because from what Barth is saying, that is the case. What else? I'm sure they had to tell the truth as they knew that lying to the LEO is against the law. So if that's really the case, that Jack Newton and Caden Pressey individually with supposedly different stories did tell the truth and nothing but the truth to the police and authorities in the background, it's not really led to much. So if Jack has one story, Caden Pressey has a completely different one, at least on the surface level publicly, the big contrast between the two and overlap and contradict, don't know, and it's quite questionable and it's weird. But if it's told in a truthful format to police, how can both be true then? One would have to be wrong, the other one would have to be true, supposedly, but at least when it's said publicly, not publicly, privately in the background, if the truth was said there, then you'd think that both told the truth and one of the two just told a lie publicly. Do you see how you could interpret that? Hopefully it can make sense. Or we got Renee, shout out to Renee. Mom, asking you a question, do you believe that Jack would think about it or could be scared to lie under oath? I don't know him or Caden, but I just wanted to know, especially if you know. When was Caden Pressey under oath? Hearsay only matters when you're talking about court, but it's something that Ellie has to take into account during an investigation. Hearsay is fair game to follow up on during investigation, but usually inadmissible when it comes to court. So as an investigator, you use it only as a guide. Your goal is to bring only admissible evidence to a prosecutor when you want to get a criminal charge filed. If you can't get it in front of the judge or jury, it's worthless to get a conviction. Okay, so it's pretty much that there. True, the topic of conversation may be considered gossip, but hearsay is strictly a legal term. Even if it's true, the source cannot testify to it, it's considered hearsay. So on the conditions that the original person, the origins, the original witness, the one, the source, if they cannot testify and someone else has to, it's considered hearsay, supposedly. I said I'm not an expert of all the legal stuff, that's why I'm looking at some of this. Just post it already. We all make posts that are off of other statements. We just don't state them as facts or more. Right, so it sounds like Beth Carr wants this individual to stop beating around the bush and just say what's what. But to be honest, this person could genuinely be asking a question in general. Beth Carr says, it's not that serious when Brooke Bounds-Carter has made all kinds of third-party statements in here, claiming them as facts. Renee says, you're so cute. Right. Anyone, let's say, video person witness, then being able to have their proof back up statements they said to you, it would not be hearsay for either. Wait, does this time with what I was saying earlier? Now, if you, Toy, the poster, or anyone, let's say, were to video a person or witness, and them being able to have their proof and backups of statements they said to you, it would not be hearsay. I'd ask permission if you could repeat anonymously. Right. Well, like an interview. So, everyone can hear what Caden Pressey has to say from themselves and partners in true crime, so they're not sure what you're getting at here. Well, at the end of the day, people can just ask general questions. Yes, it's vague, but a general question is a general question. It shouldn't be that much of a problem. It would be hearsay because you're repeating it. It's not coming straight from the horse's mouth, basically. And you always want it from the horse's mouth as best as you can. My question is based on something Caden Pressey said in the partners in true crime interview. So fair enough to... Beth Carr, it must have been posted in a different order or so. Beth Carr must have saw what Toy had to say and then made the question about it, saying, what are you getting at here? Fair enough. Apologies. My question is based on something. So which interview one? The released one or unreleased one? What did he say? Toy Jones, Facebook puts out all this fluff so you can't see what you're typing. I've been sick, so I'll start again tomorrow. Ow. That's unfortunate. So we didn't find out. So everything, piss off, stop scrolling down. I hate it when it does that. Laura says, so everything that has been repeated that an eyewitness has told me, I'll need to stop repeating what they said. Does this pertain to displaying their exact quoted text they have sent me? What about all the screenshots? They're going down too? Oh boy. Oh my, that will stop a lot of talking here. Can't repeat what the kids say or explain how the kids said. That's getting dodgy. Ooh, Laura, using the word dodgy? That's my word, man. Be careful. Only kidding. Right. So some interesting discussions there. All in all, I think it was a rather interesting video for today, considering it felt like I've ticked everything off the list for video projects at this point in time. So it was a bit of a refresher, or more refreshing for a change of pace and tone. Be sure to let me know your thoughts below, and I'll see what else can be made at some other point. Whether I might be on and off with videos for now because of the time and events upcoming and stuff. I'll see what happens. But yeah, shout out to everyone that has watched the videos recently, and even on busy days as well, just like recently, there's been time, so that's all good. And if you want to hit the like button, share the video, that'd be appreciated. And that's pretty much it for now. My name's Warlight Ref. I'll see you next time. Goodbye. Good night.